All right. So, you want to start recording?
Yeah, I hit record.
All right, great. Okay, so I guess I'm going to start off. I guess I'll give you a small background. I manage a pretty big Amazon account, and that Amazon account does a lot of sales in branded appliances. These items are very big. Obviously, if Amazon loses, damages, or starts overcharging you on fees on these big products, um, then there's definitely a big loss, and it can get very costly if you don't catch it very quickly. So my margins were being affected, greatly. And my boss comes to me and says, "Hey, you projected for this product where you're going to be making 20%. We're at 17%. We're at 16%. On different colors, we had different profit margins. What's the story?" Um, so throughout the year, we started, doing it manually until it got to the point where I was now spending much of my time focusing on reimbursements, maybe too much time. But to me, it felt like free money, to the point where, I got in touch with a programmer, and that programmer started working on Seller Locker. But at first it was just supposed to be internal. And then after that, after recovering a ton of money from my boss, I said, I really think this was pretty easy and can be duplicated on other people's accounts. I just maybe have to work on the user interface. So started working on that full time, and here we are. So I guess I'm gonna jump straight to the program, and maybe we'll go through a demo, and you guys can ask any questions you may have. But I'll go through the program, as if somebody's never seen it before.
Cool.
Yeah, and let me just, we were chatting about it a little bit as well, but just to give a little background from, how we got connected. I had using a service to get reimbursements, but they weren't doing shipping reconciliations, so it got me looking for a little bit, looking for a service that would be more all-encompassing, because I'm bad at doing these type of things. And then I've found out about Seller Locker, heard a lot of good things about it, so I joined up, and then in a few weeks they got me close to $3,000. So then it seemed like a good solution. And again, I've just had the service this whole time, so I've been paid a service in January to go back for 18 months to look at my to get everything except for shipping reconciliations. And then January on, I've used the service, and then I did all the shipping reconciliations myself. So when I popped on and started using Seller Locker, I wasn't expecting that much, and it said, "Oh, you have 40,000 or X amount, outstanding. Opened some cases and started to plug through it. I'm still working through all my cases, but they've already got me in a short period of time, just under $3,000. So it's been successful and been good at uncovering stuff that was missed. It wasn't like I was just blatantly ignoring my account. I was trying to get this worked on. So it does seem good at catching stuff. And that was one of the things that I heard while I was researching, was it's the best tool out there in identifying reimbursements.
So like you said, Jeff, your account, was already taken care of. I guess on a new account, you can expect maybe 1 to 2% of revenue in reimbursements. So that's pretty cool. That's a nice boost for, year one using the service to kind of bring that cash flow back in. I've had increases of up to 5% on my profit margins on my top sellers. But I guess let's get to it. Let me show you guys the program.
Okay.
So I'm showing you my account. Obviously, I'm masking the images of the products, just, for my own privacy. But these are all real SKUs with real ASINs and real sales. These are real results. You can expect these types of results depending on the volume that you're doing. But again, 1% of revenue, maybe up to 5% of profit margins, you can expect results like that. So somebody who signs in for the first time would automatically sign in and see all of the cases that are awaiting action. We call them awaiting action, but these are cases that Amazon has some type of discrepancies. From the start, it'll be loaded with inbound shipments, lost, damaged inventory. FBA fees aren't going to be there because we kind of need your dimensions in order to do a full audit on the FBA fees. Open cases would be 0 because you haven't opened anything through our service yet. And obviously resolved would also be defaulted at 0. On the dashboard, just to go through it, you got alerts. So these are any cases that are expiring within the next, 14, 21 days. Certain cases have a timestamp. Inbound shipments, you only have 9 months. Inventory related issues like loss and damage, you have up to 18 months, but these cases are expiring. You might want to check them out before they do. So now over here, we show you the top prospects that are missing dimensions in the system. So kind of sorted by your best sellers that you haven't entered your dimensions into our portal yet. Once you get your dimensions into our portal, we'll show you the next SKU that we think you should be putting your dimensions for. Each item kind of has a small explanation of what this segment is. Over here, these are orders that were audited. So after getting your dimensions, we'll take the dimensions that you plug in and we'll weigh it on the amount of orders that you have. So I already put in the dimensions for 77% of my ASINs. There's still 79 cases that are awaiting action and 111,000 FBA overcharges that are still awaiting action. Down here, this is really cool. This is a new feature that we released 2 weeks ago. And we'll get back to it, but just quickly, these are recent fee changes. So even without putting your dimensions into the system, we'll show you any fee changes dating back 90 days. So as you can see on this SKU right here, this isn't really a safe, but the fees previously was $3.19. On August 12th, the fee went up to $1.52. So just the way FBA fee goes, so I can tell everybody, Amazon, you put in your dimensions into the portal when you first create a product. Amazon doesn't trust those dimensions. A, because there could be many sellers selling the same type of product, but B, because packing dimensions can change, and therefore the fee should change, rightfully so. But they take these dimensions down once the product is received at their warehouse. Not saying they do it every time, but many times they take the product, they'll measure it, and then input the dimensions into the system. And now you're going to be charged a fee based off of the dimensions that they weigh the product. So now this SKU previously was $3.19. On the latest shipment, they upped it to $4.71, which was an increase of $1.52. So the program's quickly telling you before there's a very big FBA fee overcharge that the fee has went up by $1.52. And we'll show you any recent fee changes going back 90 days. This is even without your dimensions. So that's pretty neat. It can add up very quickly. So you might want to take care of it before it turns into a big reimbursement. I definitely try to. Not saying I'm perfect, but you want to tackle them before they turn into bigger cases, which I'll show you soon. So next, typical, daily workflow, you would jump in, see if there's anything recent, maybe put in a dimension if you have it. If not, you would jump into the awaiting actions tab. This is all of the discrepancies that Amazon has in that we said that there are in the system, sorted. You can sort it however you'd like, but by estimated value in this case. So if I only want to look at the bigger cases first, because, I want to, go after these big, $10,000, $15,000 cases, a few $1,000 cases, or maybe I feel like I want to go after the small cases first, because Amazon, and this is just some advice to everybody, Amazon will respond same day, usually with a reimbursement on anything less than $120, $100. They're not going to give you any feedback, pushback. Amazon does tend to push back on the bigger cases over $1,000, but we do give them all the evidence, so the pushback shouldn't be for too long. Or they might say that they're processing the data, give them a few days. Anything under 100, you can expect the same day reimbursement. So it really depends on who you're into. But these are all the different types of cases, all sorted by estimated value in one portal. If you wanted to get into a specific type of case, let's start with damaged inventory really quick. You jump into the damaged inventory. Let's sort it by estimated value. I already went after these cases, but let's say this is a $61 case. View it. I'm telling you that the program's telling you that there was 2 units that were damaged. Amazon already reimbursed you for 1 unit. There's still 1 that they owe you money for $61. This is the really, really cool part of the program. Back in the day, you had to copy and paste this data, but we have this Chrome extension which allows you to simply hit open case. The data will shoot through the Chrome extension into your Seller Central account, preload the data for you, so you don't even have to do any typing. Scroll down to the bottom and hit send. Once you hit send, we take the case ID back to the program, and we would move it from the awaiting actions tab to the open tab. The same work is required on the lost inventory. So you jump in, sort up estimated value. This is a new case, actually. Amazon lost 61. They found 2. There's still 59 to be reimbursed. for $350. If there was a case ID already opened up for this, so maybe you opened it up in the past and Amazon damaged some more units, you would see a case ID here. But this is a brand new case that I've never opened before. I would hit open case. Again, shoot Studichrome extension into your Seller Central account, and you just have to hit submit. Done. Lost and damaged inventory shouldn't require any other follow-up besides that.
Can you make your own templates, or do you have to use yours?
So we are, per the request of the group over the past 2 days, my programmer and I have been working on either you guys can upload, and we're still working it out. We're going to be releasing it hopefully by the end of next week, where you can kind of create a standard template if you'd like that will only be for your account, and you can adjust it or something. Or we're thinking of even having maybe 50 texts per type of reimbursement, and then just randomizing it per click that you open up. That's just a question for the group, what they'd rather. I think we're going to introduce both, and you guys can do whatever you like. So we saw your feedback. We definitely think that you have valid points. It's really a facade, because we've spoken to Amazon at the Boost conference. We're telling them what we're doing. We're telling them even how we're pulling the reports. We spoke to the data team there, and they told us word for word that you're definitely it's in your right to investigate these cases. So don't feel like as if you're doing anything wrong or as if you're doing anything shady. You're seeing the data. It makes sense, and you're pushing it. We're pulling the data that Amazon's giving us. So it's definitely in your right to open up these cases. We'll do it, for the crowd because they want to feel safe. But, don't feel worried that you're using the same lingo, because we are requesting valid cases. And if you look at the text real quick, all we're doing is, hey, Amazon, there was 2 damaged units. We acknowledge the fact that you found one. There's still a net adjustment of 1 unit. These were the 2 times that you damaged inventory. One of the times you already reimbursed us for. You can't really identify which one. So now what they're going to do is they're going to check out both line items, see which one that they reimbursed you for and which one they didn't. And in their response, it'll say, we acknowledge that there was a lost item that we already reimbursed you for on such and such date. But you're right, on December 18th, there was another lost damaged item, and this is the reimbursement for that unit. So that's what the response from Amazon should be. So when they tell you, hey, we already have a reimbursement item, that's true, because we give Amazon both line items, and it's up to them to decide which one they want to reimburse you for, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Let's move on quick. I don't want to waste everyone's time, but let's go into an inbound shipment case. So a lot of people have either VAs doing this work for them, like Jeff, or they have another automatic reimbursement software, or a third party opening up these cases for you. What's really difficult about those cases is they can't really reconcile your inbound shipments, because they don't really know what you sent to Amazon. So they might either oversee cases that are really big and only go after the small ones. But if Amazon has any pushback, you can't really say yes or no, because they didn't send the shipment, you did. So in this specific case, and let's just go back so we can get that flow. Awaiting action, inbound shipment, you can sort it by estimated value. I should dismiss all these expired cases that either missed the boat or were real cases, so I didn't open them. But this one has 13 days left, so let's check it out.
And what we're saying is, Joe, one of the questions came up was, how far does the software go back? And it goes all the way back to it won't bring up stuff that's expired, or I guess maybe it does. Well, I'll let you answer instead of me guessing.
So for cases, we show them there's certain criteria is when you're allowed to open up a certain case. Like we have to wait for lost and damaged inventory 45 days. I think that's the right amount of time, but 45 days for Amazon to settle these damaged inventory line items. So whatever got lost or damaged, we have to wait 45 days from when they release the data. And you can open it up for about 18 months. But when it comes to inbound shipments, you only have 9 months. So inbound shipments do expire pretty quickly. And you also have to wait 30 days from when the product, I think it's 30 days, from when the product is received at Amazon's warehouse. So you don't have such a big window of opportunity. So, but we will alert you. So if anything's expiring soon, we're going to tell you on the side about it.
So I guess the software goes back at least 18 months.
Yeah. Okay. And for inbound shipments, it'll go back it'll show you all the cases, but you only have 9 months to open them up.
Okay.
So on this specific SKU, this specific shipment, I found it because it's about to expire. But you can also find it by going into case type, inbound shipments, sorting it by the highest value, and let's check it out. So in this specific case, so I told Amazon when I created a shipment, I was going to send 168. I really they received 128. It is possible that I short shipped Amazon, so maybe I would adjust the shipment to 150. And I would know that because I would either go and check my records with the warehouse very quickly, or off the top of my head, I knew that I short shipped the shipment. If something was bogus and it looked like I shipped 600 and Amazon received 0, and I quickly know that, hey, this is a fake case, or I definitely didn't ship this SKU, maybe I would zero it out. So really I shipped only 24. So there is no issue here. So I'm only going to be making a claim for 22 units. When I hit open case, this is the text that I'm going to tell Amazon, hey, I'm hoping that you can investigate for this specific ASIN. You could even download a BOL if you use an Amazon partner carrier. It is an assigned BOL, but we found many times, definitely on the smaller cases, you might be able to open up a case even without a signed BOL. We definitely recommend practice, implement it into your business. You can have a huge shipment that goes rogue one day, and without a BOL, a signed BOL, you're going to lose that entire shipment. But we'll remind you on the next page, a bill of lading is required most of the time. You can download it from Briefcase and upload it here, so you would quickly just add that attachment for that SKU. It should be in your downloads all the way on top, and you would hit send. So in this case, it would bring, did I lose the internet? Hopefully not. But in this case, what would happen is,
phone to your.
Say that one more time.
So when you were on your case, it went from the email tab to the phone, and then you can't submit the case on the phone.
Oh, okay. Got it.
It does that to me sometimes too. I don't know why.
Let me check it out. Sorry about that, guys. Let's try one more time. So I did open case. And let's just see if I get the send button. No, good to go. All right, small glitch, but all good. So that's inbound shipment. On this specific, in these types of cases, again, we have the advantage here. We get your verification of the case before it gets submitted to Amazon. This is really the whole issue with automatic reimbursement software came from this type of case, because there is no way another service out there can verify that you've sent the shipment. Makes total sense. You're the one who sent it. You're the only one that can verify it. There's no point of spraying all these cases on Amazon, especially this one. Amazon received 0 units. It's very possible I didn't send the shipment. So either I would dismiss the case totally, or maybe I think I really sent 8 of them and I would adjust it. But in this case, I know that I didn't send it. I'll quickly dismiss, and it would, get out of the cases and I'm out. Last but not least, probably the real reason, like I said before, why we created this program is for FBA fees. There's 3 ways you can check out your FBA fees. And anyone stop me if I'm going too fast, or if you have any other questions, but you can go ahead and.
Joey, can we go back to the shipping one? I just want to talk through some things with the shipping and just in general, because I know when I was submitting this, and I saw some feedback from the in the group that people were saying sort of these were false positives, or they're just finding false positives, and so I just want to sort of take a break there before we get into the pick and pack fees, and just talk about how, again, I know for the shipping, one of the things with the shipment is you got Amazon that like auto reconciles stuff.
So let me explain what an auto reconcile is. And I was just talking to my partner about it, because it's a very gray area what an auto reconcile shipment is. Technically, Amazon, and the process is you send the truck, Amazon, and it's possible even sending 2 trucks sometimes, but they're counting the items. They might close out a shipment. and it could be 5 units short, and they close out the shipment, but they continue unloading the truck and the product go into Amazon's facility, but maybe it wasn't marked off. The program, obviously, and every program out there will show that there was a 5-unit loss on this item, and it'll go into our system forever as a loss because Amazon didn't properly receive the shipment at the time of the check-in. It's very possible that these units later on, it either has your barcode on it or it has your FNSKU on it, and it'll be allocated towards your Amazon account, possibly in a holdings account. So the product goes into like a holdings account, and if Amazon does the right thing, they'll allocate it towards that shipment, or they might keep it in a holdings account until you request some lost inventory, and then they say, hey, don't worry, we found it, and they'll hand it over there. But technically, so sometimes, and this happens, and we've been seeing a little bit more often, so maybe Amazon's getting a little bit better at it, but they've been, so again, the shipment might be closed out, or you send 2 trucks, or so these units get manually allocated back to the shipment, but really it's a good thing. That means that you opened up the case. There's no loss in opening up the case. I feel like everyone gets very nervous when cases are being lost. Amazon's showing you that there was initially a shorted shipment. The units were part of some, I guess you can say it didn't get accepted properly or received properly, and they allocated it to the shipment later on. So it's within your right to ask what happened. You're really only investigating. And if you look at the text, we're not claiming anything against Amazon. We're just asking them to investigate the shipment to make sure that everything, went smoothly. So if that happens where an item was automatically reconciled, that's a really good thing. You should be happy that Amazon cleaned up the shipment and just move on. Don't get carried on with lost cases. So look, it says, please investigate the missing units for shipment, FBA such and such, which we've brought through the API. If they did anything manual, we can't really check that. But if you wanted to see it on your own, you can hit go to shipment. And that's if you just want to add an extra step to it. But it'll just show you that the item wasn't auto reconciled, or maybe it was. And if it wasn't, you can jump straight back to the app and move forward.
Yeah, I would say that's what I've been doing. Is I've been just clicking the go to shipment button. I mean, it's really quick just to check and see, because that's where you can catch the auto reconciling. And if you don't want to, if you just want to submit it, as you said, it's not, a big deal. But
Right.
yeah, I use that shipment button. It helps a lot.
Sometimes I think another question just came in, but let's say Amazon maybe over receives the product. I'm not sure, and maybe you can clarify the question. Did you really send extra items, or did Amazon over receive an item by accident? If it's the second one, where you really send 10 units, and Amazon, let's see what the response was. Did not send extra items. Okay, good. That's what I was going to talk about. So let's say you wanted to send 10 blenders to Amazon, and for some reason they received 15. So this is something that they call a virtual overcharge. When it comes to a virtual overcharge, these 5 units exist in the system somewhere. In the system, it exists. In reality, these items aren't there. Really, there is no issue until maybe they lose an item. So now the system shows that one of these items that never existed was lost. So it goes from 5 maybe to 4. So now we would show this case in a lost inventory case, because really within the line items through the API, Amazon is showing us a lost unit. When you open up this lost inventory case, we would say, hey, Amazon, you had 5, you lost 1, really there's 4 now. Can you give us that reimbursement for the 1 lost unit? Amazon's response would be, hey, this is a virtual overcharge. We, by accident, may have, over received an item, which didn't really exist. So again, you're investigating. Amazon saying this inventory was, misreceived through a shipment. There are no issues here. You can ignore it and move on. So there's no harm in a response from a virtual overcharge. You're investigating the data that Amazon's pushing us through the API. Does that make sense, Donna? I guess we'll see. So if there's any other questions on inbound overages or waiting for, should we investigate at the time of the shipping or wait until something is lost? We won't identify it at the time so I guess we will, but there's no point of investigating. You can say, hey, can you if you're interested in doing it. So yeah, it does make sense to go ahead and say, hey, maybe and you can go to this case. This item looks like this 53 extra of an item. So over here is definitely a major virtual overcharge. And does the program say that you've overreceived? No. So our program doesn't specifically go after that. I could definitely take in the notes as like maybe you want to investigate, like you're saying, hey, can you check out this this inventory that was overreceived and maybe reconcile it so that you get the properly allocated inventory. I'm definitely going to take note of that. Thank you, Donna. Okay, is okay to move on?
Yep.
Okay, so into the meat and potatoes of the app, really. You jump into the Fee Auditor, which is where it all starts when it comes to the FBA fees. On a clean account, on an account that wasn't played with yet, like mine, it would show you all of your SKUs that you sell, and you can sort however you'd like. So if you want to check out Amazon fees descending, because I definitely believe it's true, Amazon definitely messes up on the products that weigh a lot because it's harder for them to measure, like on this one here, from 56 to 31. So that's a major overcharge. But you can do that. I like to sort it by bestsellers because to me it means if they make a small mistake on a lot of orders, the reimbursement could be huge. You could play with these toggles here. So if you only want to look at fees in between $10 to, $30 and order counts of at least 1,000 units, I guess you can get fun here. But typically you sign in, it'll show you all of the SKUs sorted by your bestsellers. And I guess I'll take you through one real case. So I got these dimensions a little earlier on this from my warehouse. So for this specific SKU, and if you were doing this on a one-off basis, let's say, you would hit edit. So actions.
And all this stuff's automatically imported, right?
So yeah, let me backtrack a second. Thank you. So these are the dimensions brought in from Amazon system. So when they measure the product in their warehouses, what we want to do is comp them against the true dimensions, because like we said before, they can over measure the item. They might have measured even a competitor's item, and now you're being charged for his package dimensions because of the whole commingling thing at Amazon. So therefore, maybe your package was even, he put extra packaging on his item, and now you're getting charged an extra $2, $3. You're entitled to ask for Amazon to take down that fee. It might even be worth it for you to put an FN SKU on the item so that they no longer commingle the inventory. Even though you might have this extra labeling fee, you might save $3 on the FBA fee, which could be worth it. I've done it. So let's look at this SKU right here. Amazon's dimensions are 34 by 19 by 14 by 68. According to what my warehouse said, it should be 33.5 by 18.2 by 14.1 and by 66.1. One other thing I want to bring up, there's two things that Amazon takes into account when putting together your fee. There's something, your weight, so the weight of the product. There's also your dimensional weight. So your length multiplied by your width and your height divided by a value, I think it's by 136, gives you a dimensional weight. So Amazon will take the greater of the dimensional weight and actual weight and then plug it into the tier group that you fit into, and that's how they deem you that FBA fee. So they're never going to mess up on the calculation, but they can mess up on the measurement. So in this SKU, I'm actually saving money, if that makes sense. 18.2, 40.1, 66.1, so that's great. This is another SKU. This is actually a recent SKU that happened. Right here, this one's a small one. So 22.6, 18.27, 4.8. So Amazon's only off by a little bit, but 40 cents by 4,000 orders results in 2,500 bucks. So now, this isn't a crazy one. I've had crazier ones, like you can see, but what would happen is you get the dimensions into the system. You can either quickly take action from here by hitting case, and it'll shoot straight into a case, Or if you uploaded your dimensions in bulk, or just felt like uploading your dimensions today and wanted to take care of your cases later, you can hit awaiting action, sort it by FBA fees, and all of your new cases would be here. Amazon, once you open up a case, the process is that they're going to measure it. They can't measure it if there's no stock. So we have this badge here that'll tell you if an item's out of stock. You shouldn't open up any cases that they won't be able to resolve. So if they have no stock, they won't open up the case until you replenish the inventory. Even if you don't have any more stock, you don't plan on making the SKU again. What I've done in a certain situation where there was a $10,000 case in the line, I sent in one item, I raised the price very high, and I asked them to open up a case, and I did get back that 10 grand. So take note of that in case you're running any, opening up any of those cases. But let's just look at that case where you're looking at. So right here, you hit view, and what we have here is all of the orders that they overcharged you on going back 18 months. So it's a very small difference, or maybe not too small, depending on the product category, but $1.14. There was 289 orders. So that's a $2,000 reimbursement. When you hit open case, this is the text that we're going to tell Amazon. Hello, Amazon, I'm getting overcharged for this specific ASIN. The package dimensions that you have in the system is X. This is what I believe it should be. The new estimated fulfillment fee should be 25, 23, and there was 289 units affected. And we can work on a template like we said before. You hit download, and what happens is our system would give you all of these orders because that is what Amazon wants from you. All of the orders organized in an Excel sheet. And the Excel sheet's exactly as Amazon requested. ASIN order ID, quantity, fulfillment charge, new fulfillment fee, and the difference with a total all the way on the bottom. So you would hit open case. The data would again shoot to Amazon. You would upload the Excel sheet and hit submit, and the case would move from awaiting actions to open and then hopefully resolve. So again, you would add that attachment and hit send. And you'd want to pick off your best sellers one at a time. So you'd get your dimensions into the system. You could do it one at a time like I just showed you by hitting edit. Hitting edit and then hitting reload, and it'll create those cases for you. So these are all potential reimbursements. Just to show you my account a little bit, a lot of my cases were won because of the FBA fees. So money recovered, FBA fee, 10 grand, 6 grand, 3 grand. So it adds up 1,500. I actually have a $28,000 case that I won. So that was a crazy one. But
did they ever come back and ask for manufacturer proof and stuff like that?
Not manufacturing proof. One time I did have to, like they measured it and it was still wrong. And what I had to do is send them pictures of the item on a scale.
Oh yeah, I had to do that
and
before.
That did the trick. So that doesn't happen often. It only happened once. But it definitely was, that did the trick. Let me show you 2 more ways you can upload your dimensions. So people that sell clothing or shoes or have many variations of SKUs. So like I said before, you can have the same item being sold with different dimensions. We are adding a feature. It was supposed to be done by today, but it wasn't. I apologize. Where you can auto group all of your variations, and it'll create internal groups in the system for you to quickly check out. But I'll create a manual group, and I'll show you what the process would be. So these are I know what they are. They're irons. So I would hit 6 variations because there's 6 variations of this product. And then I would hit save. Just go back, see if that works. So now it's not showing it because it's masking all the products, but these are the 8 different irons that I sell. And as you can see, they all have different fees. And, they all should weigh the same amount. So it'll tell me what the lowest fee that I was charged on a SKU, what the most frequent fee on my orders were, and what the highest was. I did an internal measurement, and really $471 should be the fee. So you can upload your dimensions in bulk to all of the ASINs at the same time. So for people who sell clothing and have thousands of variation with colors and sizes, they can quickly put, 7.2 by 5.24.
When you do clothes, what do you put in? Just the size in a poly bag?
Yeah, exactly. So this would apply these dimensions to all of the listings. Quickly do a reload so that we can go back 18 months. Still loading. And now here, it quickly went back. These cases would exist in the awaiting actions tab, but they're also here. So there's $1,000 in fees. You can quickly go after all of them, cases, and submit the case the same way. So that would be through a listing group that we're working on. Should be by tomorrow, where you could just, you would go to FBA Fee Auditor, hit listing groups. It'll show you all of the different groups for your products, and then you could apply to all of them in bulk. I saw there's some questions, so I'm just going to take them.
Oh, that was just me answering Melanie again.
So the last thing, I can answer it now if you guys want. What is the cost for the service? How do you track the case results and amount recovered? So we take a percentage of recoveries. We're at 25%. We are giving away $1,000 in the group if you use Jeff's link, the Sourcing Simplified link, for you guys to try it out and get that money back. But we do charge 25%. How do we track the case results and amount recovered? You guys go on with the cases through your regular case log. Amount recovered, we'll know once you win. So once you win, the reimbursement ID gets fed through the system. We're already tracking all the data, so we know that it matches the case that you opened up. And then we could, we'll bring it to the resolved. The way that we bill, at the end of each month, all the money that you recovered in your payments already, we'll send you an invoice for. So again, it's only after you recovered the money and was paid the money back from Amazon. We won't bill you for something that you didn't get the money for physically yet. That's the link. So let me show you the last way to do it. You could actually upload an import sheet. So you download the template. In that template, we'll have all of your SKUs sorted by your best sellers, put in the length, width, height, and weight for as many SKUs as you'd like. Import it, and once you import it, they'll all exist here in your on your listings tab. And then if there is a case, it will exist very simply in the FBA fees section. Just going back to the things that we mentioned earlier, listings that we believe should have dimensions, just because there's a high opportunity. Either you have a lot of sales, or yes, you basically have a lot of sales and you didn't put the dimensions into the system yet. We'll show you stats on your orders audited, how many listings you have dimensions in the system for the amount of orders that you have. And if there's anything recent that happens, even without your dimensions, we would show you. But the process would be the same. So you would check it out, go to listing. If you don't have your dimensions already into the system, you would go ahead and upload it, and it would work the same way. We're just showing you that something happened very recently. I know it's definitely overwhelming. There's a lot to focus
That is a
on.
lot.
But I was talking to a seller today, and it was actually one of my beta testers from back in the day. And he put together, he actually wrote me a letter, I got he also got around $80,000 this year. And he just wrote me a few tips. I told him that I'm doing a webinar later today. I wanted to share them with you guys. I thought it was helpful. Probably gonna be sending out this article later. But he wrote, after using the tool for a year, a few tips that I would tell the sellers if I was you. To set up a weekly time to open up at least 10 accurate claims. It's not a one-day thing. It's a system. Add it to your routine. Get regular with opening up these cases. It really only takes 10 seconds. You see it, you click one button, you submit. Number 2, start saving your signed BOLs. A signed BOL can go a long way with Amazon. I personally have a shipment that they lost the entire shipment, the entire thing. It's about 6,200 units. They lost the entire shipment. It might be sitting outside Amazon's warehouse. They don't know where it is. Without that signed BOL, I would not receive a reimbursement for that SKU. He wrote, don't spray and pray. Accurate claims yield better results. The next one he wrote, number 4, don't get caught up on Amazon denying your claims. All you can do is try. Win or lose, just keep going. So that I definitely believe in. You're not doing anything wrong. You're investigating information that Amazon is providing. just keep going. If the claim makes sense, open it. Don't open up cases that you never sent inventory for. That's a no-no. But if you're not sure, try to investigate, and if not, open up the claim if it's not something outrageous.
And
the
you don't
last
limit
one,
yourself to so many a day?
so the program will limit you at 10.
Okay.
At the Boost conference, they said open 30, open 100, as long as the data is correct. We still limit it. We limit it to 10 only because if they do require a BOL or something like that, it might get a little intense to have so many open cases in your case log.
Yeah.
So we do it for your own protection as well, so you don't get a little bit overwhelmed. But if you want to open up 15 that day, be my guest. The last tip was immediately upload your dimensions on your top sellers. You are throwing money away with every order that's sold. So those are just like a few tips. He also recovered around 77,000. Not saying everyone's going to recover that amount. He was kind of a big account too. But if you stay consistent at it, it's very different than an automatic reimbursement software. You have the data. You get to do more with the data. You get to verify the data and then submit it. It is a very powerful tool. And even without reimbursements, just fixing SKUs that get overcharged is a tool, should be a tool within itself. Just, this segment down here.
Yep.
Even if you aren't getting the money back, fixing it on a going forward basis is pretty neat. But then don't forget you're getting the money back. That's also great.
So if the fees are wrong in your favor, do you still update with the actual ones?
No way. If Amazon's undercharging you,
on your list, not on Amazon, but on your thing.
upload it. We'll show you that they're saving you money. It doesn't hurt.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
that was
like,
one of
I have
Melanie's.
many SKUs. Yeah,
That was Melanie's
so that
question. She said update it, and maybe in the future, if Amazon lowers it too much, you'll have the data captured already.
Okay, that's true.
How often do you check Amazon for changes?
As the order comes in, so
Okay,
I would say
so you
once a
check
day.
every order no matter what.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Again, so that's really the app. We are working on. Some people have experience, and I guess you guys can tell me if you've had any the referral fee from Amazon. So they're getting charged instead of 15% in some categories, they're getting charged. In certain categories it's supposed to be 12, they're getting charged 15.
Mm-hmm.
Or in refurbished goods, they're getting charged the amount for new inventory. I don't sell that stuff, so I don't have much experience in that. But we are working with sellers on building out that section of the app. That's kind of in the beta right now. Definitely email me at joseph@selllocker.com or albert@selllocker.com if you have any suggestions or things that you've experienced that you think we can add to the app, or any updates. We used to be a copy and paste program until people suggested, is there a way that you can take the data automatically? And that's something that we worked on, and now you have the Chrome extension. So we definitely take everything that you guys say.
Yeah, I like that. It's a lot simpler.
We want to make it as user-friendly as possible. And again, I can't stress it enough. Don't get caught up on lost cases. It's in your right to open up these cases. I hate when people get frustrated because they lost their first 2-3 cases. Amazon gave us the data. We're giving it to you to push back at them. If you lose it, dismiss it. Let me bring up one other point. Even if you lose the case, so let's say you lost a lost inventory case or a damaged inventory case. We've had many sellers that win it the second time around. So what we do is, let's say you have a blender that you sell. We use Blender again, and we noticed that there was 5 pieces missing. We open up a case for that. Amazon says we have a reimbursement ID in the system. Maybe it was a virtual overcharge, whatever it was. So now they dismiss the case. It'll stay pending in your open case tab, either till they lose another unit. So let's say now they lose one more unit. We'll request another reimbursement from Amazon for 6 units now. So it'll go back to your waitings action tab, and you open it up the second time. We've had, I can't even tell you, thousands of instances where people win the case the second time around, which is pretty fascinating. But we were going to take it out of the case, like remove all virtual overcharges. But we saw that almost 50% of the cases, 50% of the cases that were won on lost and damaged inventory were from virtual overcharges. So the second time around, they won the case. So don't get discouraged on any losses. Just keep plugging away, I would say.
Nice. I'm also seeing your shared screen as being weird. Maybe it's just me though.
Sharing is paused. I guess I'm done sharing though.
Oh, you stopped sharing? Oh, that's why then it probably just got stuck.
Here, it's back.
Oh yeah, there it is.
There we go. Yeah, that was weird. I was like, what is that? I'm like looking, I'm trying to fix it on my computer. I thought it was me.
I know. I thought maybe it was just me.
So that's all I got. Definitely. Oh, one more thing. Very cool. We're releasing another cool feature tomorrow, or the next day. I don't want to overpromise, but this is a fee calculator. So anyone that's doing private label, they can only really guess what the dimensions are going to be unless they're an expert with numbers, or they check out a similar product and try to get their dimensions close to that product. This is a calculator that'll tell you in the private label or even arbitrage in the product development stage, if I have an item that's 11 by 8 by 6 and weighs 2 pounds, my fee is going to be $5.85. What we're working on, and hopefully it gets released very soon, is showing you how to get into the next tier, or what is the dimension that you might be able to change on your packaging by a certain number that'll take you maybe into the $4.79 fee range. So I've done this many times where my packaging was off by maybe an inch that maybe I could have shaved off on the side, or the poly bag had a lot of extra space that I took it down by 2 inches, and that brought me into the next fee range. So Amazon wasn't wrong in this case. I just was stupid with my product development and my production. So now I be sure to make sure that I'm making the product that is the most efficient with the FBA fees. So we're going to be releasing like how to get into the next one. So that's for private label type sellers.
So if I have a shirt in a poly bag and I can fit it like 12 by 10 by 10, but everybody else is 12 by 12 by 12, I'll just get reimbursed just myself?
So that's tough. It depends a lot of the time how many sellers there are out there.
Okay.
If there's many sellers out there and there's a lot of dimensions fluctuating in the system, a common pushback that Amazon will say will be fluctuation in fees. So they're not going to reimburse you there.
Okay.
But if you show them, and I've done this also, put it on the scale and say, I get that there's fluctuation in fees, but these are my dimensions. Look at it on a scale. One time when I opened up a case, they said, I appreciate the effort, but there's too many ups and downs in our system. I can't reimburse you. Another time that they did reimburse me. So It's not so straight on that one, but you might also win it on the first. Like each case could be something else. It depends on the rep that you're speaking to.
Yeah, and what product they look at to see if it is the right measure.
Yes, how many sellers are out there, and how many changes in fees there were on the system.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I'm available for any questions. If anyone wants to take it offline, just email me. If it's a technical question, like maybe about losing the case, I am educated in it, but Albert, my partner, he's the wizard at, why you lost, and even has templates that you can send back to Amazon. Email him I'll put it in, but albert@sololocker.com. Then anyone else have any kinds of concerns, if you're scared about the rate, stuff like that, 25% is the going rate on the market. And again, that $1,000 is that's just from the heart, really. But yeah, and my email is joseph@sololocker.com. So that's the pitch, guys.
Nice. I'll see if Jeff has anything else.
Nope. I think I'm good. I think we covered it. I mean, did we cover? Sorry. Let's see. How long are you keeping open the 1,000?
So I'd like to put it out for another 5 days. So 7 days prior and another 5 days going forward. We could do it another 7 days till next week, till Tuesday, and then we'll close it out.
Okay. Yeah, we'll let everybody know. Just again, it's it's a free $1,000 reimbursement, so people that'll keep people busy for a while, maybe one case, depending depending on how busy they are.
And yeah, one more thing. So just to clarify, the 1,000 is, we're going to give you $1,000 free on credit. So that means we're not going to charge you for anything on your first $1,000 reimbursement. So let's say you win $1,000, we won't charge you that 25%. It would be on the house. Make sense?
Oh, does it matter how long it takes to get the 1,000?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. We would hope sooner, open up your cases, but.
Oh yeah, that's another. So you have no limit on your right. You don't have to make like.
No, it's in the coding, so we understand. It's just ready for it. Our billing is ready for that. And then just back to the rates. If an account's doing over 3-4 million a year, reach out to us. If the rates are scaring you, we can try and work together. But that's kind of like the cutoff. If you're doing 3 to 4 million per year, reach out. Some people get so turned off from reimbursements because they can't imagine giving away a percentage of their revenue. But think about it as it's money you wouldn't have recovered anyway. It's going to the garbage unless you go ahead and claim it.
Yep. And it's almost offhand. I mean, you have to put in your dimensions. That would just be the main part you'd have to do.
Yeah, there's new features coming. Like I had a meeting today. We're working on like rapid fire for the lost and damaged inventory. You don't have to go into each one, and maybe it'll just be on a queue where you could kind of hit select all or select 10, and 10 cases will open up within the Chrome extension, and you just hit 10. I don't know. We're trying to get cool with it. Try to speed it up. So that's really it, guys. I hope that I was as clear as I can be. Any other questions, please reach out to us. And if you need any extra support, we're always here for you.
Yeah, it seems easy enough. Just have to learn all the buttons.
Definitely, yes. One more question coming in. All right, thank you, Melanie. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
For introducing me to the group, and it's a pleasure to work with you guys.
Good. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yep, thanks.